Well, welcome again to Devotions with Pastor Joe. It's great to be able to spend this time with you. It says we just kind of build our confidence. That's what I've been talking about in the scriptures over the last couple of weeks, is just to get our confidence in Jesus Christ and know that that solid place that we have with him is really unshakable. Have you ever seen kids that when they're little, that they can be really low in confidence and some are really high in confidence? If you kind of look at where those kids are, you can see that it's a reflection of how safe and secure they feel. Loving, attentive parents, full of compassion and protective and providing firm boundaries that, in a sense, give a child a sense of everything is going to be okay. Children play happily, they don't worry, they're not panicking, they're not anxious, they're just secure. It's like parents give children their sense of confidence. But a child that doesn't have parents they're attending to, or maybe the mom or the dad has bad mental health, or maybe they're going through an extreme difficulty, or maybe there's conflict going on, or maybe the parents just don't even know how to parent. Nobody taught them how. And they don't provide that framework. The children can become kind of insecure, not confident to stray very far, not confident about how things will turn out, and they become less inquisitive and less joyful and less relaxed and more anxious. And so it's very interesting how our sense of children that we see, but it's a reflection of the way we are as children of God. So what I'm trying to get us to see is that the book of 1 John is teaching us all about the things that should make us confident. And we've been going through a few of those things to change our perspective, because once our perspective changes, our confidence level should go through the roof. So we're now up to John chapter 3, 1 John chapter 3. And in this time, we're going to learn about how we become free from the perspective of our own conscience. Your conscience, like Jiminy Cricket saying, always let your conscience be your guide. That's actually not good advice. I mean, if that's all you had because you didn't have anything more than that, well, it's better to kind of follow your internal compass conscience telling you right from wrong. But did you know that your actual internal compass can be wrong, even when you want it desperately to be right? So there's something better and bigger than your conscience. And I'll just show you that here in 1 John chapter 3. He says this in verse 18, "Little children, let us not love the word in talk, but in deed and in truth. By this we shall know that we are of the truth and reassure our heart before him. For whenever our heart condemns us, for God is greater than our heart, and he knows everything. Beloved, if our heart does not condemn us, we have confidence before God, and whatever we ask we receive from him, because we keep his commandments and do what pleases him. And this is the commandment, that we believe in the name of his Son, Jesus Christ, and love one another, just as he commanded us. Whoever keeps his commandments abides in God, and God in him. And by this we know that he abides in us, by the Spirit that he has given us." Now, see how at the end of that chapter, in that part there, he's emphasizing that the Holy Spirit, who is the Spirit of truth, who guides us into all truth, the Holy Spirit is greater than our hearts. Your heart can accept you, your heart can condemn you. And its reasons for accepting and condemning can be wrong. There are some people who have no guilt about something, but they are actually guilty. Maybe they don't know, say, the commandment or the law, or maybe they don't know the crime that they've committed. They don't feel guilty. But just because your heart lets you off the hook doesn't mean that you actually are innocent. And oftentimes people are very condemned. They're very ashamed. They're under this sense of condemnation, and it's because their heart has become twisted in a way that makes them feel chronically less or not good enough. Now, that's the effect of sin in our lives, and also the effect of the environment around us. But you see, your heart can condemn you even when you shouldn't be condemned. And here's the one place that it matters the most. If your heart is constantly saying to you, you're no good, that is simply not true in Jesus Christ. Because your goodness, your actions, are not the full story. Because added to your actions is the actions of Jesus Christ. Everything that Jesus Christ has done has been added to your credit, so that when you have Jesus Christ, you have a full credit rating of righteousness. You have 5-star credit with God because it's not what you have done. Now, see, if your heart is not aware and not the perspective of your heart is not changed to what God says about you, then you're going to feel under condemnation or shame or a false sense of innocence, which can kind of undermine you later in life. So what he wants you to see is that the Holy Spirit is leading you into this something deeper than your heart. God is greater than your heart, and he has truth that's bigger than your heart's perspective. So let go and grab hold of the perspective of the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit will lead us into this truth. Now he makes that statement about, he says in verse 21, if our heart does not condemn us, we have confidence before God. You see how that works? That if you feel condemned, your heart condemns you, you won't ask God with confidence. And if you don't ask God with faith, if you don't believe that God's going to help you, God's going to answer your prayers, faith, again and again in the story of Jesus, faith is that crucial ingredient that is the difference between just saying a request to the sky and actually believing it's going to happen. When you really believe in your heart, that's what you receive. According to your faith, it'll be done to you. So it's really important that we take this false condemnation of our hearts and set it aside so that we can grab the full confidence that we can have through the Holy Spirit. But he does make that caveat. He said, if we obey his commandments. Look here, it says, verse 22, whatever we ask, we receive from him because we keep his commandments and do what pleases him. Now, if you stop there, you might start thinking, oh, I don't keep all of the Mosaic laws. I don't, my heart is not pure. I've coveted, I've lusted, I've desired the wrong thing, I've been anxious, I'm not good enough. And you start thinking, well, but that's not the commandment he's referring to. He's referring to not the commandments of Moses, but the commandments of Jesus. And what Jesus said, the commandment was to have faith in him and to love one another. And when we have faith in him, we are free to love one another. It's kind of like why we follow that first commandment, to be loved, to be forgiven by Christ. That sets us free to forgive and love other people. So he says that. Verse 22 says, whatever we ask we receive because we keep his commandments and do what pleases him. And then verse 23, and this is his commandment, that we believe in the name of his Son, Jesus Christ, and love one another just as he commanded us. And so walking in those commandments helps us to abide in God, knowing you are loved by God 100% unconditionally because of the work of Jesus Christ makes you confident. And in that confidence, you can let go of all of the things that are causing conflict with other people. You can start loving people because you're just so much more full of grace yourself, having received so much grace. So as you think about these things today, I just would like you to just really think about this. Is there any place that your heart is actually deceiving you? Your heart is saying that your work and who you are without Jesus is the biggest and most important truth? Well, see, your heart's lying, because what Jesus has done is far, far greater than your heart. It's far, far greater than your works, whether they could be good or bad. Jesus Christ and receiving what he has done will fill you with confidence, and then you can go before God and ask for anything, and you'll be really, really confident when you do. And I hope that today, maybe you'll take a few requests and prayers to God and say, God, with confidence in Jesus Christ, I just pray this to you in full expectation that you will hear me, because I'm asking you in the grace that you've given me. So God bless you and have a great day.